Again, good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, partners, and guests. It is my great pleasure as the project coordinator to welcome you all to this European Conference of the Wind Project. We are truly delighted to have you here today, experts, practitioners, trainers, students, and representatives from the wind energy and VT sectors gathered to celebrate the achievements of this initiative. Over the past 2 years, the Wind Project has worked to address one of Europe's most pressing challenges, the shortage of skilled professionals in the wind energy sector, and the need to support a just and inclusive transition for workers moving from traditional and carbon-intensive industries. Today, we are here to share the results of that effort, to discuss what we have learned, and to look ahead to what comes next. This conference is not only an opportunity to showcase our outputs, our curriculum, our MOOC, our training materials, our mobile application, but also a space to strengthen the connections that make European cooperation so valuable. Together, we have built tools that will help reskill workers, empower VET providers, and support the long-term sustainability of Europe's renewable energy workforce. I would like to thank each partner for their commitment, creativity, and collaboration, and all participants for joining us today. Your presence shows how essential these conversations are, not only for the wind industry, but for Europe's broader green transition. Throughout the next hour and a half, we invite you to engage, to ask questions, to share your own experiences, and to explore how wind results can be applied, expanded, and sustained beyond the life of the project. Your feedback is vital and will help ensure that the impact of this work continues to grow. Thank you once again for being here. We wish you a productive, inspiring, and enjoyable conference. And next will be the agenda presentation by José Manuel Melendi of the Agencia Española de Empresa, Agencia Empresarial Española. Por favor, José Manuel. Please,
Thank,
José Manuel.
thank you, Antonio, for your introduction to the WIN project. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure also to welcome you all to the final EU conference of the WIN project. I am José Manuel Melendi from the Spanish Wind Energy Association, AEE in Spanish, and we'll take a look at the agenda for today. Please be aware that this webinar is being recorded. We will use this recording to ensure that the valuable insights shared here can reach a wider audience after the event. We have just heard the introduction to the WIN project from Antonio. And first of all, it has been an absolute pleasure working with this consortium over the past 2 years. To our partners at IPPC in Portugal, BCDE in Germany, Urmia in Greece, and Innovele in Belgium, thank you. This project has been a true cross-border collaboration. Immediately following me, Irini from Innovela will take the floor. She will showcase the main achievements of the WIN project. Then we will move into a discussion of success stories and industry realities. We are privileged to have two external experts joining us, Emmanuel from Connected Wind Service and Alberto Seña from Bepte, Spain. They will share their experiences and their opinions on the current needs of the wind energy market and their insights. After the experts speak, we will open the floor. We want to hear your questions. your challenges, and your ideas. We want all of you to discuss in the final part of the event. Don't be shy. Your opinion is essential for us. In the closing part of the meeting, we will share a QR code for a brief feedback questionnaire. We will also post the link directly in the chat. I truly hope you enjoy the session and that all your questions can be addressed. Thank you. And Irini, the floor is yours. You can share your screen whenever you want.
Thank you, Jose Manuel. Hello, everyone. Welcome also from my side. Thank you for being here. So I will host a brief presentation of the main outputs of the wind project. Give me just a second, please. Jose Manuel, can you please confirm that you can see the presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So this is the virtual European Conference of the Wind Project, which is an Erasmus Plus project. And it comes to an end finally after 2 years of research. The Wind Consortium is the one that hosts the event today. IPVC is the lead partner of the project from Portugal, a polytechnical school, Polytechnical University. BZ from Germany, a training organization. Eolica, Association Eolica from Spain, which are the experts to the wind energy sector for the consortium, and from Novella, research and consultant specialists. Portugal, Spain, Greece, Germany, and Belgium come together for this project the last 2 years, almost. So the objectives or goals of the project is first of all to adapt the training market to the labor market needs against climate change and the transition of technical workers from unsustainable energy sectors to the wind industry, which comes to the renewable energy. So for this purpose, we developed some training materials to assist technicians or other professionals into the transition of the wind energy sector employability. To that end, our goal was to connect the learners, the vet providers, the sector professionals with the knowledge, some basics to start their journey to the wind sector, and to help them transition in the wind energy industry. So, beginning our research, Eolica did a skill matching analysis and identified some job transition profiles with some matrices, the skill or competence matrices, as we entitled them. This output was in order to identify which profiles, professional profiles from non-sustainable sectors could transition into the wind sector. So the two industrial profiles that were identified that could be the ones to be transitioned more easily is the industrial electricians and oil and gas technicians. So our partner identified 6 profiles, which were maintenance manager or coordinators, preventive maintenance technicians, corrective maintenance technicians or mechanicals or electricians, corrective maintenance technicians or technicians on hydraulic systems, and corrective maintenance on rotor or blades. Those are the 6 main profiles that could be identical for people transitioning from gray to green energy, let's say, and specifically the wind energy sector. So after identifying the transition profiles, we proceeded with developing some educational materials. The major output is, to be correct, the educational program of the WIN project. It is offered in an online platform from Promea, our partner from Greece. It's really easy to access and user-friendly. That's why we chose this platform. You can access directly the platform by scanning the QR code that's now on your screens. Otherwise, you can visit the project's website later. Just to give you an idea of what is the content of the course, it's separated in 3 learning units: introduction, theoretical background, and maintenance. Introduction includes some basics of atmospheric physics and engineering, including meteorology, aerodynamics, civil works. The second learning unit is more technical, including hydraulic, mechanical, and electrical knowledge. And the third learning unit, maintenance, is goes even more in depth regarding the technical part, and it includes specific tasks and insights on the rotor, the tower, the generator, and the gearbox. That's an overview. I think it's worth it to take a look in the course. It's really interesting, and I think it's we did our best to provide a quality course for people who just entered the world of wind energy or would like to enter the world of wind energy. And of course, we can assist you anytime by using the email included in the website. So this is the course. It's pretty easy for someone to navigate in there, and it includes as much knowledge as possible to be developed in this 2-year project. The second educational output is the mobile app, and we tried to develop a web-based app to give access to a more broader audience. Again, you can scan the QR code on your screens. It's easier to access than the course because the course requires an email and a password, but the app is just, you click there and you're in the app. This is to complement the WIN course, as it includes checklists and grids specifically regarding tasks and skills. The 3 categories we've included in the wind technicians mobile app is installation, preventive maintenance, and corrective maintenance. Those were provided from the 3 experts in our partnership. Just to have a look, I don't want to be tiring because we have more interesting topics to discuss following my presentation. In installation, we've included the site preparation and foundation works, electrical infrastructure, turbine delivery and assembly, commissioning and testing. In the preventive maintenance section, we've included blade inspection and repair, gearbox and drivetrain maintenance, generator and electrical system checks, hydraulic and brake system servicing, and the corrective maintenance parts, general, rotor, tower, generation, and electrical converter. I hope you already have a look there because as you can see in the home screen, there is an evaluation form button where we can receive your feedback and improve the app, as it will be available after the end of the project, which is the end of 2025. So any feedback from you as professionals is, of course, welcome. And I think it's a user-friendly tool too. Next output is the blueprint from Promea, is, let's say, a structure and a path to adopt the course and the app, mainly the wind course, in VERT organization or training parts from wind industry organization, if you include training in your companies. So it's a path on how to adopt the wind theoretical course in your organization, and how to recognize those skills with adopting credential SIM. So it supports VET providers or wind energy sector trainers to integrate the wind curriculum. It includes guidelines on how to do that, and recommendations and suggestions on how this could be incorporated to your providings to trainees. It's based, of course, on the competence matrices I've put it in my first slide and in the learning units of the wind course. And of course, the aim is to upskill or reskill workers who want to move into the wind energy sector. And of course, it provides guidelines also in the quality assurance and the consistency to develop a recognition system which will be more suitable to your organization needs. All of those educational outputs and the blueprint are open access and free from the website. And I think it is a great opportunity for a company to adopt or take parts of the educational outputs that we've prepared to their courses. After that, concluding with the educational outputs, we have created a career support platform, which includes career advice and guidance on interviews, CV templates, and cover letter templates adopted in the wind energy industry. And the most important part, it includes almost 300 job openings into the sector from the partnership countries and beyond in Europe. So it's a quick way for someone to have a look on what's going on and what are the skills and job openings that are more popular in the sector, to directly acknowledge what's needed for a career path in the wind sector. That was all from me for today. I think I will leave the floor to professionals, and of course, you can always ask via email. I've already contacted most of you via email, and we can assist you if you're interested in the wind materials, either as a learner or as a trainer.
So how we are going to proceed now? Someone is going to ask questions, or how we are going to open the discussions?
Jose Manuel, shall we move to our first conferencist?
Yes, yes. Manuel is the expert, and he can introduce himself and tell his experience in the wind sector, and in that needs the needs that the wind sector are facing with employment, for example.
Yeah, many thanks for this introduction. My name is Emmanuel Schuding. I'm currently the Managing Director of Connected Wind Service in France. We are a maintenance company known as ISP, Independent Service Provider, which means that we are offering services for the maintenance in various type or models of wind turbines. Maybe I have a short presentation that I can upload. I hope it works. I will share my screen. Can you see my screen, my presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, perfectly. Yeah.
That's great. Many thanks for the feedback. So I will give you a short testimony about the success story we had through the strong cooperation, especially with the BZE Academy. BZE is a German standard for globally wind energy training program for maintenance, including what has been already presented, electrical competencies, hydraulic, mechanics, global wind assessment, English, which is a complete program to adapt some profile to the requirement of the wind energy. So we took these standards a couple of years ago. It was already in 2011 that we had the first discussion with the BZE Academy. This was due to an emerging onshore development in France, and there were globally very high needs from the manufacturers like Vestas, Senvion, Enercon, Nordex, without existing course on site. So the BZE education program was already well known in Germany and Denmark, and was a good standard to provide quality to the company which were requiring some technician. So we made a transfer of the program course into a technical school in the city of Dijon in the central eastern part of France. And we had a constant volume of between 8 and 12 technicians educated per course during 6 months. And this was per year to fulfill the local needs of the branch. It has been globally a success, but also insufficient to require all the needs and development of the different company in the wind energy business. There has been local fundings, especially from the region, to educate some job seekers coming out various branches, and to educate and train them into emerging but long-term employment perspectives in the maintenance of the wind energy business. We had quite various profiles, but at least some requirements and also some competencies in mechanical, electrical, and technical background. But we had also completely different profiles from other branches and also even postgraduated people looking for some good jobs. Globally, the course was 4 months long on technical aspect and 2 months included in some companies for the trainees. It has been globally a success where a connected wind service as a company could get a good globally feedback from this program. We have the capacity to grow from 4 employees only in 2020 up to now. We are currently 44 people within the companies in France, with 28 technicians on field and 3 other technicians in supports. We are looking forward to hire between 10 and 15 new technicians within the next 3 years at least. 75% and even more of all of our employees are coming from this program, education program, and this strong relationship with the technical school. Globally, my feeling is that there is enough background to go on field, but still involvement from the technician and improvement of the education afterwards. But it is also the feedback that we got that the GWO certification is not enough. We have to provide a long-term education program, including all aspects that has been mentioned previously. The different profiles of our employees and globally the job seekers where we are looking for is between 18 and 50 years old. It's not only globally destined to young people. With this program, we were able to establish 5 maintenance hubs in France, in the wind industry. Globally, more than 100 technicians have been educated in these 10 years with 90% of success, and more than 75% of those people still employed in the wind branch. Good knowledge to start as maintenance technicians, but we had also very good profile who had some good evolution up to service managers. That's the feedback we have. Without this close partnership, we were not able to have such a growth, which is very important, with more than 10 times more people in the company than 5 years ago. So my feeling is globally we have to support this kind of program definitely on the long term, and to have the capacity to employ some people from other branch into the wind branch and the requirements need from the branch. A couple of pictures. This is our location on the left side. This is the high school where we have implemented not a virtual but a complete nacelle with a small tower to be able to prepare the technicians on field. So this is included in the 4 months technical course. And then I have 2 pictures where some students have been involved. This is on one time a gearbox exchange, which is a quite complicated operation in the branch. And on the other end, this is tower corrosion treatment with also a platform. And due to the education course we had, we could have some good people and then good technicians afterwards to be involved in this kind of operation. So as I mentioned, I've been involved in both sides. On one side, on the education part, but now as a professional in the wind energy maintenance, I will recommend to support this kind of partnership, and globally on the European side to be able to encourage also the people to travel across Europe at least, but to have the possibility to have long-term perspective in the wind energy branch. I don't know if you have some question regarding this presentation and the feedback I could give to you regarding the cooperation.
Hi, Manuel. Alberto Feña speaking. Well, I will present later, but I have one question from your presentation. You mentioned that GVO is not sufficient for training. Why you say that it's not sufficient? What you miss in the GVO? I suppose it's the VTT from GVO, no?
Yeah.
GVO.
Regarding the BTT, the feedback that I can give you, it's too short to have enough competencies required to go on field. So this is a first step, I would say, or this is maybe sufficient for some people with a long-term experience. If you have somebody with a quite low level of knowledge, either in electrical branch or in mechanics, you have to educate them internally on a long term. And globally, 6 months is the minimum, in my point of view.
Okay. Well, okay, I'm going to present myself. My name is Alberto Feña. I am the General Secretary of the Spanish Association for Maintenance. It's an atypical association because we are concentrated on maintenance, not only wind, also photovoltaics. But the origin it was mainly for wind, and we concentrate on a great number of ISPs, independent services providers, working not only in Spain, working in many countries, in France, in Germany, and South America. And we are at the origin, we created a quality standard because normally in the maintenance sector, there's a great pressure on prices. Normally, companies are selected because they offer the lowest price, and we think that is not enough, and we push the. I'm going to share the website. Wait a second. You see the website now?
Yes, very well.
Okay. We organize a fair in every 2 years in Zaragoza in Spain. But we have well, there are different parts of this. The opportunity is only in Spanish. We're trying to collaborate with other associations, but in Europe there are no associations for maintenance. So normally, we are working with Spanish companies. Well, there's also some German companies like BayWa, but normally we are mainly on Spanish companies. This is why the website is only in English. We have this is the quality stamp for qualifying our members. There are also different reports, especially on how to carry out the inspections of the wind turbines for life extension, and also to check where the possible faults. It's a combination with predictive maintenance. We are also proposing different schemes for those inspections, and there are also here a section for employment and training. We have now we have an open places in our sector. The greatest part in the wind sector. Those are our members. There are also some companies doing the repairing generators. It's quite common in Spain and also in Europe to have companies working with digital treatment, artificial intelligence, or getting the data from the SCADA and integrating with other data for a way of predictive maintenance. So this is now I working in the wind sector since the beginning of 80s, so I have a great experience on the wind sector. And in this context, I think the wind project for fields, one area it could be quite interesting is just general training. I agree with Emmanuel. This GBO VTT is not enough. It's quite short and also very expensive for some companies. But with wind is free. It's for free, and someone wants to learn how the wind turbines are being operated, or how the some base information about hydraulic, electrical, mechanical things of the wind turbine can learn through the and also the maintenance. So maintenance is preventive, corrective maintenance. I must say that for starting the discussion, we have a problem in Europe and in Spain. There's a lack of people. That is, we have not enough workers. And then we need to train young people, not only coming from the oil and electricians, but also for coming from other sectors and very young people, around 16 years old, to train for maintenance. And I think it's not easy, at least in Spain it's not easy, because to carry out in Spain now there are two parts in the theory, the official training for maintenance. They have two parts. One is the theoretical in the VT centers, another one is practical in the industry. But as far as the industry is very busy, it's quite difficult to get people to get some practical jobs for being trained. So this a theoretical approach, and it's quite logical to have that double training. theoretical and practical, but the practical side, it takes some time and a bit effort, even in my case, from our companies, to have a room for students to learn in the companies, because normally they need to go with someone of the company, and people have no time for doing it. So even if they are good trained from the theoretical side, and when it covers a whole, at least at the beginning, even if they have a good theoretical background, they have serious difficulties for being practically trained later. And one of the problems now is the GWO for safety, because not all the public centers can supply this GWO for safety, at least the two or three modules, and then normally people who are being trained can't afford, they cannot have enough money for doing this training. And see, if they are not the GWO for safety, then they cannot go to the turbine, they cannot go up to the nacelle. So this is one of the problems. So in summary, now Spain is the second country in Europe of wind turbines in operation after Germany. There are a request of trained people, because recovery is quite slow in Spain and also in the rest of Europe. The extension of life is more common, and the standard life, the all wind turbines require a lot of work, and we have not enough people to carry out the work. The salaries are growing up. It's true that one of the key issues also are the salaries. The salaries slowly are growing up. We are going to compete with other sectors where there's also a lack of people. Spain is a service country, and the tourists, hotel, restaurants are also demanding people, and we need to compete with them. And then we have increased the salaries, but still we have problems of personnel. Then I think initiatives like EBC, GVO are now wind could be useful, but I think we are not going to easy to resolve the problems of lack of people to fulfill all the tenders are being launched by wind farms operators. Okay, to conclude, I want to congratulate the consortium for finalizing the project. I know at the beginning it was not easy, but now there are some outputs, some tools that can be used for the market. And as I said before, the mock and the app, there are something for starting. Later on, it needs to be completed with other trainings in France by connected to in-service, in Spain for our members in AMR. There are many private and public centers that can complete the training, but it's always useful to have an initial overlook, and this could be supplied by the mock and the app of the wind project.
Thank you, Berto. I have a question for you and for Manuel. It's an idea and a reflection. You almost just told a great overview about wind energy sector, but the wind project was the main focus is upskilling technical workers from sustainable sectors like oil and gas, or upskilling electricians. And during the project, we identified that the online course of the wind project would be a valuable resource for students, especially renewable energy students at best providers. You mentioned also. We celebrate the wind project events, training seminars, info days, sharing the wind outputs with the students and the BT providers. And we also try to invite the wind industry to offer the opportunity to connect students with wind energy companies. And what is your opinion in these students to work in wind energy, the public programs and in the providers? how can we support public programs to involve those students in the wind industry? That's my question to Alberto and Emmanuel. Your opinions.
Yeah, maybe if I can give you feedback, this is indeed a big involvement that we have as directors of company to be involved in such program. As Alberto mentioned, this is not only a competition between us. This is mostly a competition globally to provide the students the overview. What are the requirements? What is being a wind energy technician, maintenance technician? This is not usually something well known, and we have also to give a good profile of the opportunities and also to attract the students coming to this business, because they don't know exactly what is the job that we are providing, what is the requirements on one side, what are the opportunities. This is not only for people who are looking for a job, but as you mentioned, this is also for the young people to see this is a story where they can travel worldwide. With a good education program, they can start the career, for example, in France or in Spain, and then can move to other countries, because this is a worldwide development, not only in Europe, but including in my company. I have various profiles coming from different countries also. And some of the people are saying, I would like to stay a couple of years in France doing that job, but then why not coming back to my country and also to be involved in the local development of the wind industry? And sharing this opportunity is also a very good thing to the young people, to say, if today you are working quite well and have all the knowledge in France, then you have the capacity to get into another wind turbine. This is quite similar in every country. And definitely it takes time. It takes time as the manager to get to the schools, to be on the fair like Alberto has done, organized. But then it's a key factor of the success. Then I can attract my new employee. And as a service company, what is my added value? This is only my technician, the quality of the job they can provide. So this is definitely a key success of the branch. And this is also for the public sector a key factor to get the company involved in this kind of program, definitely. This is a feedback I can give you.
I agree with you. We asked this question, similar question to our bed providers, and said that we need more collaboration with companies, with wind energy companies and the public sector and bed providers. This is essential for the training of the students. Alberto, do you have some insights on that?
Well, we have now a great contradiction in the sector, because the companies need more people, need the workers, but they don't supply for students the practical activities. They say, okay, we need in the VT in Spain. There are 6 months. 6 months are in the VT center. Another 6 months to be in a company. When we try to open the door for these students, it's very difficult. So I say, if you need people, please invest your time to train people, because otherwise it's going to be quite difficult to have people with enough experience. The problem is there's a lot of activity now in Spain. So they have no time enough for allocate some guys to say, okay, these 2 weeks, please, you are going to work with a student to teach how to carry out the preventive maintenance. this is quite impossible. And now we have people waiting in the centers, in the VT centers, to find some companies to carry out this practical experience. So this is a real problem because I say they are very busy. They don't have time, but at the same time they don't have enough people to replace those who are going to go to the field to carry out the work. So there's another issue is going back to the wind project. When the wind project it was launched, it was oriented to transform the people working in the oil and gas and the industrial electricians. In practice, oil and gas, they pay really good salaries. The electricians, they have quite a stable work. So it's quite difficult to convince them to please go to the wind sector, because the wind sector, I said before, now the salaries are going up, and finally we can compete in salaries not with oil and gas, with some electricians we can compete. But even at the same salary, people prefer to stay in only one side, not moving around Spain or around France, and also to have the weekends prepared for the alarms. So training is important, but also we need to think in how to improve the conditions for young people mainly to enter into the wind sector. We need people, and we need to convince them. Normally, there's a good motivation because it's young people have some ecologist feeling, and they like to work in the wind sector, the transition energy. That's fine. But also the surrounding condition should be quite convenient to convince them to join into work in the wind sector. But I think we're in the good track. We're in the good track. Another thing is we need also to have foreigners. As far as we have not enough people in Spain, we're thinking to get people from Brazil, from Morocco, even Egypt, to work in Spain. And for this reason, to have this training course in 5 different languages, they could be useful. If someone from Egypt want to come to Spain, well, we can learn something about the wind sector through the wind project. But lately it has to be to a center to learn more and to have the opportunity to work in a company.
Thank you, Alberto. Does the audience have any question or ideas to share? Here is an opportunity to share your ideas, your opinions.
Yes, Jose Manuel, I have one question for both of our conferences. Thank you very much to both of you for your insights into this discussion. And first of all, to Emmanuel, what approaches can help prevent young learners from disengaging or resisting to technological tools that in renewable energy education and training are normally used? Is a problem of miscommunication. I want to hear you about this point, this issue. And to Alberto, how can IMR collaborate more closely with the VT providers to ensure training programs that can match energy needs? And what gaps exist in the current maintenance training curricula for the wind technicians? So 2 questions in 1 question. Okay. Emmanuel, can you please give us your feedback on the subject?
Yeah, well, you are right. Your question is very important. We have even to be a bit selective on how to include some job seekers or other people to the training course, because as you mentioned and as Alberto mentioned, we have currently currently a situation where most of the industry are looking for some technicians with good salaries, good opportunities, and it might be that after 1 month or 2 months, some people are leaving the training course because they have the opportunity to find a job. Okay, well, that's a bit difficult for the people who are organizing the education course or even financing. Always when I'm starting a training course together with the partners, I'm saying the motivation is even sometimes more important than the competencies of the people. You can have people with a very good background, but you have the feeling they will leave the education course, and that's a trouble because you are involving not only money but the teachers into the course for at the end something which is not matching. So it's also quite important that sometimes even the companies are included in the selection of the candidates, and they can say, I can feel this one could be a good employee for myself. This is also my strategy. I mean, where I'm spending the time for the education of the people in meeting them, I'm also looking for my future employees. And this is very important to see if the people are really motivated to be in the wind energy branch. This is very important. You can have sometimes the people who are far away from the requirement from the branch, but then you see they are really motivated to get the acquisition of the competencies, and this is very important.
And can the tools that we've developed contribute somehow in motivating the young learners?
Indeed, but because then after a short time, they can also say, no, it's not something for me. And this is quite good. I do prefer to have some people saying after 1 week, sorry, this is not something I would like to do in the future. Or even say, I have some consideration after that. Instead of including them, and then after 4 months or 6 months, or even when I have some people with a 6 months education and leaving my company after 3 months, this has never happened. But then I could say something has not matched. 90% of the success of a maintenance company is human, only human. Competencies, rest, you always find some solution with some tools, with other things. But the rest is only human. You have some people, 2 people, 3 people going into the turbines on their own. So it's quite important that they can be autonomous, that they have the internal competencies. You can have some, for example, a good one with good qualification in mechanics, and the other one who is better in electrical competencies.
Perfect.
I think this is an important issue in the training because many companies we have been in contact even when we presented the wind project in this pilot tests we have done here in Spain. They say it's critical to keep. We spend 1 year, 6 months in training people. It's important to keep that guy. We cannot. For us, it's quite difficult. After all the money, all the work we have done with a student, if after 6 months they say, okay, no, I'm not. I'm going to another company, or I'm going to maintain the hotel services. No? How to keep people of maintenance of wind turbines is a real challenge. It's true, as Emmanuel say, this is people. The critical issue here is how to manage humans, how to manage personnel. And this is always the more difficult in the companies. The more difficult to manage is always the personnel. They have an idea about wind sector. They start to work in the sector, but considering that they are working in harmful weather conditions, sometimes they prefer to go to another place. As I said before, the salaries are going up, so now we are improving salaries. There is a clear well, we have really have two advantages. One, in wind sector, we are working all in a couple. We are working always with a colleague, and they are good friends. This is much easier to do it all the work. The second advantage, this is a work for 30 years. It's like to be a civil servant, because the wind turbines are going to be in operation for at least 30 or 40 years. So you start with 20 years old, and you can reach 60 years old. And now, especially because we have elevators in the turbines. In the past, it was more difficult because we have the stairs. But now with elevators, you can find people over 50 years old also carrying out the maintenance of the wind turbines. So they are really good conditions. They are. As Manuel said, wind is going to give people who is interested in the wind sector to have an overview of the wind, the different phases of the project, how are going to be the maintenance, what is quite useful. Later is the second phase, the VAT and the practical training. And for the companies, the key is how to keep those guys in the company, and after 3 or 4 months they move to another companies. It's very hard for them. So we have no other solution. As I said before, we are anxious in the companies to hire people from other countries, but there are always barriers, especially now in Spain. There are some barriers for immigrants, but in the future, when people are going to come, so they can start to have an overview with the wind project, and later to pass to a more closed training, not only websites, also to touch hardware, not to touch shafts and so on. And your question about Antonio, about the collaboration between VTs and the companies. We have here in Mer, we have the experience. You have a VT in a small city like Albacete, or you have a VT in another city like Zaragoza is not so small. Then it's much easier to have a collaboration between the VT and the company there. So, but you are in Madrid, for instance, the VTs in Madrid, for them is because there are no wind farms in Madrid. So it's quite difficult to close this collaboration. We're insisting that please, you have people. We have 40 students in the VT in Barajas, in another VT. Please open the door. You can find really good people to work with them. But this is difficult. But in some places like Albacete, Zaragoza, Valladolid, small cities, it's much easier because there's a close relationship between the VT center and the owners of the companies.
Okay. And the second one, Alberto, what gaps exist according to you in the current maintenance training curricula for wind technicians, and how somehow our project wind, how can give a positive approach to fill that gap?
Well, about training, I don't see many gaps because, when you are maintaining a specific turbine, when you are expert in maintaining the G80, you are not, in principle, you are not going to maintain the General Electric 1.5. So you have a certain expertise. And in this sense, not only the wind project, also the VT centers, and I suppose also Emmanuel in the connected wind service, you have a global training of the turbines, but the real training is going to count once you go to the company, because normally, for instance, one of our members, Altertech, they are experts in Gamesa, Another res, they are spreading different turbines in all kind of turbines. No, but normally there are certain expertise from the company. So the wind project is going to give a general overview. Later, the VT center. And once the training is going to be completed when you enter into the company. Normally, the electricians are the workers are more appreciated. You are expert on electricity. Is really to maintain generators, to maintain the VOP also, the substations, and also the converters. The converters, they have another profile for converters because you change the IGBTs, you don't repair too many things on site. So, but normally mechanicals are much easier than electrical, and hydraulic, because in Spain almost 80% of the turbines have a hydraulic changeable pitch. The hydraulic also is really welcome, especially on hydraulic systems. But hydraulic, electrical, and mechanical are normally the centers. They have really good materials. They have really, at least the VT centers we have visited with José Manuel, they have really good aspect. They have also virtual reality. I don't know, Manuel, you use virtual reality tools for training?
Only partly. As I mentioned, we have a V60C nacelle on site. I would say virtual has some limit. Indeed, it's a good first step, but nothing is better as being directly in the nacelle and to do on-site directly the operation, in my point of view.
That gives, we have our tools we have done. They normally is at the beginning of the training you cannot go up to the nacelle because you have another GVO, digital GVO, and then you have at least the impression we have had with the students that they are becoming familiar with the surrounding conditions, because the space are quite narrow. But besides that, there are not too many advantages of virtual reality. So they can have an overview about the working conditions, but later the replacement of the gearbox or the replacement of the paths or the brakes, well, it's really an approach, so it's not real. But at least they can have an idea about how they are going to work in the nacelle. So combining all these things, all these tools, the wind project, the theoretical training, the virtual reality, well, they're almost prepared. But the most important thing is to go on site and to go to the nacelle and to start with the practical things. So we are helping. We are helping, of course, but we are not resolving the problem. We are not resolving the main problems for people to go to the wind sector, maintenance of the wind sector. And I insist always that it's a work for 30 years. If you want to stay at your village, you have a wind farm at your village, and you want to stay at your village because you are married at your village, wind sector is perfect. Even compared with photovoltaics. With photovoltaics, you are moving much better than if in wind sector you have 3 or 4 wind farms. You can work without moving around for 40 years.
Thank you very much for your insights. Fantastic, very clear. And you focused your answers in terms of the realities of maintenance, workforce needs, but in what concerns future challenges in this sector, what can you say about it? What are the main future challenges for the wind energy sector? Emmanuel first, please.
Well, you are right. That's a good question and a good point, because we see globally the evolution of the wind turbines going into more electronical parts, and it's like the automotive industry, and moving even faster with the huge machine, as Alberto mentioned, elevators, more space in the wind turbines, but even more complicated technologies, meaning globally good mechanicals, basic electrical competencies were required on the aging and older wind turbines. But now we see the change globally. And for the manufacturers, for example, it's quite difficult to have the people who are able to maintain the brand new generation, involving much competencies in automatism, electronical competencies, compared to the older machines where you have to take like your old car, where you can go directly on site and change all the things. The brand new machines, you have to come first with your computer to take the soft, to have an estimation of that. Completely different profiles in my point of view. And you have also the challenge moving for only onshore competencies into offshore, which is a bit different. As Alberto mentioned, for the older, smaller onshore wind turbine, you can live directly nearby, coming home every evening. If you have some offshore technicians, it's a completely different situation. You have a lot of waiting time, then the people have to go on sea for 2 weeks or even more. You have to have more education, you have to adapt on the sea with some specific competencies, with some requirements. You don't have to fear to take the helicopter and things moving on. So it's a bit challenging with sometimes new profile. It's not so easy to adapt people from the onshore to the offshore. And this is a big challenging one, in my point of view.
Thank you. Alberto, your insight.
No, it's true. It's true. The working conditions of offshore are quite different to the onshore. We have some students working in Germany from our training courses. And well, the problem was they have to stay 15 days in a platform there, and another 15 days go back to the mainland, and it's quite difficult. And now in Spain we are promoting floating offshore. This is even more complex to maintain. Even in France, this because the bottom fix of offshore is bottom fix. But the floating is moving, not only moving typical moving of the turbine, but also the up and down of the floating. So the main challenges, I agree again with Emmanuel. I think the new wind turbines have the advantage that you have more room for working, but they are becoming more and more complex. And now also, at least in Spain, we are speaking a lot about how the wind farms are going to participate in the electrical operation, in the technical operation of the grid, and that means that they are going to suffer some ramps of power. They are going to help in the voltage control. So then they will affect to the operation of the wind turbine, and they will increase in principle the number of faults, because it's not you operate a wind turbine following the typical curve of the wind turbine, things are fine. But you use the wind turbine in a different way because you need to get a new incomes, or you need to avoid curtailments. Then we are going to see some additional problems that some time ago we didn't see it. Another important issue we have not mentioned are the rotors. The blades are 75 meters, 80 meters long, and they are maintains those blades is really a challenging. Not only the blades, also the main bearings. We have seen some manufacturers with serious problems due to the weight of the high weight of the rotor. And the loads created by those rotors of 160 meters, they are creating mechanical problems, especially in the main bearing who's suffering. the weight of the rotor and also the torque. Then I think we're going to see in the future many problems, or at least more problems on the rotor blades and mechanical transmission, especially beside the hub. How to teach this? Because normally in the VET centers we have seen in Spain, the training of composites, training of blades is even more difficult because they're concentrated on the mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, electronics. But maintaining the blades, how to handle composites of the blade, is really challenging. And then again, only is a practical training, how to use ropes to make some makeups on the blades or to make some inspections is not so easy. But I think in the future with these huge wind turbines, this is going to become a serious issue. Another thing is going to come is probably there are not many Chinese wind turbines in Europe, but they are going to unfortunately we are going to see in the future Chinese manufacturers, and there is no experience how to maintain the Chinese manufacturers, and even these Chinese manufacturers, they don't bring Chinese people for maintaining. We have a meeting with a big utility here in Spain, and they requested, please start to train workers on maintaining Chinese, because even Chinese turbines, they have more electronics than the classical European turbines. In summary, the challenges are coming from the more, as Manuel said, they're becoming more complex, more electronics. The converters are bigger and bigger. Also, the mechanical side with these big rotors, and also the how to detect the failures on blades and how to repair blades. It's true, and that is an issue. It also appears in our meetings in the VET centers. Is as I said, is the use of digital twins, the use of artificial intelligence and the use of data is also helping. And people, normally young students, they like it. They like it to enter into use this kind of digital tools to help in the predictive maintenance. So we have different combination of things to resolve the challenge, but the challenge are those, as I said, even if people are not, because one of the problems we have in the past, people working in the sector, they were not familiar with computers, and they have some reluctancy to learn to use the GMAO, the systems are assisted by computer, and now young people that have no these problems. They're quite familiar with computers. They have not any difficulties to use this kind of thing. But there are challenges, but there are also another things that are going to help in the future to resolve these challenges.
Good point of view for both of you. And well, Jose Manuel, any additional questions? Do you think we can end up the debate here, or shall we move to 12:30? What do you think about it?
Yes, well, I think it's time to conclude the event. Within the WIND project, we have developed materials and tools to introduce technical workers and students into the wind energy sector, as we mentioned before. Still, wind project is also a significant opportunity to connect the wind industry with the providers. So we are open to collaborate with you to boost employability in the wind energy sector. I thank you all for being here today. Antonio, if you have some words to conclude also the event, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you.
Yes, of course. As we come to the end of this session, well, we all would like to extend our sincere thanks to all of you for your active participation, your questions, our rich discussion that we've shared today. A special thanks to our conferences today, Emmanuel and Alberto, whose insights into the realities of maintenance, workforce needs, and now the future challenges in the wind energy sector have greatly enriched our understanding of the subject, and their insights are of extreme value. Thank you very much for being here. And that's it for me. I don't know, any other partner, some questions, some remarks, some comments, please. So if there are no additional comments or remarks, we can end up our session here, our conference here. Thank you very much again, and see you around. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thank you very
Many
much.
thanks. Bye-bye.